This is a fan-generated show. If you would like to support us, please go to jamieglazov.com, and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All your support is greatly appreciated. Jihadist Psychopath by Dr. Jamie Glazov. I will tell you as an expert on Sharia, as a former child bride who has suffered and faced my own jihadi psychopath, I want you to go and order this book on Amazon.com or go to jamieglazov.com. Get a copy for yourself. You know why? Because you need to be equipped with the knowledge to fight our enemy so you can save your daughters and your granddaughters from future of Islam.
But I'm going to pass it on to the inimitable, the indomitable, the incredible, and indescribable Jamie Glazov.
Thank you so much, Nick. So, my friends, fighting cultural Marxism, when we have 8 to 10 minutes, what do we talk about? So, I'm going to angle it on my book because what I'm very interested in and what we all have to keep in mind is the deception that the enemy engages. It's very, very important to know that we are always being deceived. And this is also somewhere where, unfortunately, conservatives are not just on many levels over the years fighting culture war, and heroes like David have turned that around. But we don't understand the propaganda war very well either, because we have to get better in that. But that's what I want to talk a little bit about today in terms of fighting cultural Marxism, that there's a game being played. And my book, Jihadist Psychopath, I'll just say very quickly, for years I studied psychopaths. And I began to see that as I was studying the Islamization of America and of the West, every single tactic that psychopaths use to capture their victims and devour their victims. And we have them as neighbors, we have them at our work. Some of us have them as our families. Some of us are psychopaths too, and I know people didn't like reading my book because they saw themselves. But I want to just talk about 2 or 3 of those themes, because once we understand who psychopaths are, we begin to understand how they operate. And so I just want to spend a little bit of time on that. There was a series lately, I can't remember exactly the name of it, but it's about the spies in England that were in the MI5 and the government. And one of the spies that worked for the Soviet Union, when he finally confessed and was talking to one of the people that found him out, the spy was sleeping with the guy's wife. And they did it on purpose. That's how the KGB worked on all these levels. And the guy in the government said, "Why?" And he said, "So you could not see me straight." See, they're very, very shrewd. So if you sleep with the guy's wife, the guy can't see straight because he's, so there's always a deception going on. And so let me just begin with this. There's a certain step-by-step pattern in which psychopaths work, and I hope you guys take a peek at my work, because it's not just the Islamic supremacists that are engaged in this. My whole life, I've dedicated myself to understanding the left and why the left is allied with Islam. Not only is it allied, but because it shares the same goals and it's the same entity, it engages in the same tactics. Now, I hope I don't offend some people here today, but I can't prevent it from talking in religious terms, because as a Christian, we see a spiritual battle here. And of course, our Jewish brothers and sisters also see a spiritual battle, and we share a lot in common in how we see it. But I'll just begin with this. The psychopath learns best from his master, and that's the serpent. So very quickly, I'll just begin, and Dinesh D'Souza has done great work on this. When the serpent spoke to Eve, it was very important for the serpent to say, "This is in your interest." And you need to keep this in mind while we're in this cultural battle, because this is a very key theme of the deception. This is in your interest to do this. But the serpent knew that Eve would fall because of that. I don't have the time today, but I document in every single way where the Islamic supremacists are telling us that this is in your interest, what you need to do. And the left engages in exactly the same thing, what it tells us that we need. During that romance stage, there is very much a we are a lot alike stage. I know many psychopaths like this. All my life, these people that you hardly know, and all of a sudden they're telling you that you're soulmates and they agree with you and you guys are a lot alike. Be wary of those people. And I'm not saying that sometimes it's not true, but the people that you hardly know and you know something's going on, it's the romance stage. So I just want to stress this today. In terms of the Islamic supremacist stage, romance stage. You love Jesus? We love Jesus. You respect Jesus? We respect Jesus too. And that need for deception, that hunger for deception, it's rooted in our DNA somewhere, and we have to battle against that. That's why we're fighting an uphill battle, because I would say a large percentage, or maybe most people, Kenneth Levin has documented this in the Oslo syndrome, dying to be deceived. One of the fellow travelers during the Soviet Union, he said to the Soviet host, he said, "You deceived us." And the host said to him, "But you wanted to be deceived." And so many Christians are just salivating, oh, they love Jesus and we like Jesus, the battle's over, everything is okay. We are a lot alike. The clever Christian, the brave Christian that doesn't need delusion will say, oh, you love Jesus? Let me ask you something. Did Jesus die on the cross for our sins? Is Jesus a member of the Holy Trinity? Is Jesus the Son of God, divine? And then the Islamic supremacist turns ashen white and runs away, or gets angry and starts screaming. But it takes courage to do that. It takes courage to see the situation for what it is, that huge battle is not ahead of us. Switch over to cultural Marxism for a moment. Saul Alinsky, what did he teach? Shave your head, get rid of that beard, get rid of that messy clothes, put on the tie, put on the suit. Barack Obama, boy, did he learn well. Hillary Clinton, join the middle class. You're part of the middle class. We are a lot alike. See, I've spent my life thinking of these things, and that's what I want to talk about today. Keep in mind, there is a constant deception being played on you. So even when you see them, whether they're telling you that they love Jesus when it's somebody from CARE, or when you see the person in the tie and the jacket, there's a deception happening there because you destroy your enemy by pretending that we are a lot alike. It's a very crucial stage during the psychopathic game. So, and D'Souza has really done some good work on this. And we know what the Obamas and the Clintons were doing because they hate the middle class. There's a reason. Hey, look at where they're sending the Sharia populations. The people that love Sharia, they ship them a lot of times into the middle class areas as a punishment because there's a malice there. But it's all done in the we are alike, I've got the suit on strategy. So just wanted to mention some of these things. Now, this is in your interest. We are a lot alike. This is all the romance seduction stage. And I document in my book how psychopaths operate and how they seduce. But once they got you, then something else starts. The punch in the face, and all of a sudden they're sulking in the corner. We all know people like this. They punch you in the face, and then they've had a really bad day. And then they're pouting in the corner, and the weak people who are already ensnared are apologizing to them. Okay? So number one, be careful of this in your personal relationships. And a lot of us get caught up in this web. But open up your eyes. There's a jihadist attack. All of a sudden, Don Lemon and Anderson Cooper are talking about the Muslim population's really fearing a backlash. And then all of a sudden, all of us are like, oh, we're so sorry for being Islamophobic. We're apologizing within 3.5 minutes of a jihadist attack to the Muslim community. Where is that stage where the Muslim community is apologizing to us because of Surahs 5 and 929? So I'm just reminding you, there's a constant game being played here. And as I studied how psychopaths operate, every single stage. And so there's a victim stage, the pity card. The psychopaths always use the pity card. The left, the cultural Marxists are using that every time. So just with maybe 3-4 minutes left, because it's so hard to sometimes share our main ideas and what we're passionate about. But I will say this, in terms of the spiritual battle, this is connected to the victim card. Satan is an accuser. Please remember this. Satan is an accuser. Jesus Christ is not an accuser. Jesus Christ is compassionate and knows that we're sinners and came for our redemption. Jesus doesn't accuse, but Satan accuses. Groundless accusations, crucial for psychopaths. Off the top of my head, I grew up, I could think of one male and one female cheaters on their spouses in private bragging to me, Jamie, the key is to come in and accuse and get really angry. You come in, you get really angry, make accusations, it works every time. And I'm sort of like, oh yeah, is that what you do? But it's very effective. Psychopaths engage constantly in groundless accusations. Keep this in mind. And I'll just say this, where Shelby Steele moves me so much, Shelby Steele really influenced my thinking while I was trying to figure this out. It's very important. Last night, if you were listening and if you read his book, The Content of Our Character, Shelby Steele talks about how important it is for people to feel innocent. They want to be innocent. And so that accusation of racist, a lot of the whites in our culture, as Steele documented, they want to be innocent. I'm not racist. That's Robert Spencer and Pamela Geller over there. They hate Muslims, not me. So keep this in mind as well, that part of that victim card, and Steele documented in terms of white guilt, but it transfers over now to the kafir being abused by the unholy alliance and by the Islam and the left that's united in hate, is that there's groundless accusations going on. And so Islamophobe, like for instance, I spend most of my time fighting on behalf of Muslim women and girls that are the victims of female genital mutilation, honor killings. We talk about acts of Parvez all the time, the Saeed sisters. We genuinely love the Muslim people, the Muslim women, Muslim girls that are suffering under Islamic gender apartheid. And we're called Muslim haters. You see how they work? It's very, very shrewd. But the key is that these groundless accusations about Trump, about everyone, you're a white supremacist, you're a racist, you're a bigot. The key here is keep this in mind. It's a psychopathic tactic. And many people, what happens is, and Kenneth Levin has documented this in the Oslo syndrome, many leftist Jews, you embrace the indictment of the accuser. I'm the good Jewish person. I'm going to shed myself of all those ugly Jewish traits. You're right, Jews are like that. But I'm the good Jew. Those are the bad Jews over there. That's what happened in the Oslo syndrome when you embrace the accusation of the accuser. And we're doing that today. And I don't mean we and heroes that are here today, but please keep this in mind. Because there's many people in our society, even some of the moderate Muslims, that are fighting against jihad and Sharia, but they're not like Robert Spencer. They're not like Pamela Geller. It's very interesting. And this is the key here. And Mark, I think 2-3 minutes, I'm still safe. That wasn't a yes. But what I'll say is there's also a process going on here of ingratiating yourself with your potential executioner. This is a very important theme to keep in mind. When I was down on 3rd Street Promenade, we would work and try to educate the public about Islam. And a lot of the Muslim girls in hijab would scream at me, yell at me, and tell me, you know nothing. You're a racist, and you're a hater, and you're a bigot. And I would take a picture of one of them, because I know what I'm doing. And the train is never late. 15 minutes later, the one that was yelling at me the most comes up to me privately crying. Can you please delete that picture? My hair is showing. My parents back in Saudi Arabia will kill me if they see me like this. Oh, you just spent 10 minutes screaming at me that I'm a racist and I'm wrong. No problem, I'll delete it. The ingratiating yourself with your potential executioner. They're trying to out-radicalize their potential executioner. The people that hold power over you. Be very careful when we see all these leftists and Marxists, the brain-dead liberals or the malicious liberals. They know what they're doing, and they're trying to ingratiate themselves with the people they're terrified of. I have friends in university, and they verbally hate me. I like Trump, you're bad, you're a terrible person, but they're actually even scared to admit on campus that they even know me, because they'll be devoured by the people that they're trying to defend. These are just some of the themes I wanted to talk about. I think I'll just end, it's just 60 seconds. When I speak spiritually here and as a Christian, I just want to say that there's a spiritual war going on. And at the core of cultural Marxism, at the core of the left, at its main core, is what happened in the Garden of Eden and what the serpent tried to tap into. The God complex of humans wanting to be God. Instead of realizing that we need to get on our knees and to ask for forgiveness from the Father and ask for Christ's mercy, the left believes that it will save humanity and that human blood will redeem the earth, that they'll kill. That's why Mao and Stalin, that's why there's so much murder on the left, because they think that they will create their own utopia. So there's a God complex there. There's a rejection of God's order, and they believe that they can be gods. And so I'll just say that I was on a plane recently, the woman on my left, woman on my right, both watching MSNBC and CNN and talking about Trump. And I remember I just put it on Hannity, and honestly, you can actually see them begin to tremble. Do you know these people? It's almost like when you bring the holy water out right before exorcism. They're just trembling. They're trembling. When you look at Don Lemon, Anderson Cooper, Rachel Maddow, just, oh my God, they can hardly contain themselves. Not to come across as a big fanatic or anything. There's something spiritual happening there, because Trump reminds them that they are not gods. You can't build a perfect planet, and the left hates that idea. Keep that in mind, because they're self-appointed redeemers, and they get to choose who is saved, and they get to choose who is damned. And that's David Horowitz, very powerful in his work. Thank you very much, everybody.